Alright, hi guys. This video is going to be about multiplying by a two-digit number. And what I mean by that is usually we multiply, what you learned in fourth grade or in third grade, is to multiply a number by a one-digit number, meaning there's only one digit in the number 4. In fourth grade, what you have to be able to do is take a number and multiply it by a two-digit number, like 54. This has two digits, okay? Remember, one word that you really have to know is product, and the product is an answer to a multiplication problem. So in the next couple minutes, I'm going to review different types of multiplication or different problems with using multiplication, and we are finding the product of those problems, okay? First of all, if you are watching this at home, I suggest that you get out a piece of paper and actually solve the problems as well, because that is going to be what helps you in the long run understand and practice multiplication. The first problem we're going to do is 62 times 15. Remember, there's two ways to do this problem. The first way that we are going to do is where we actually show that we understand the problem and understand what multiplication is. We are really taking 62 and we are adding it 15 times. So 62 plus 62 plus 62 plus 62, and keep going until we have 15 62s, okay? There's two ways. There's an algorithm, which is like the little trick fast way of learning it. And then there's actually like understanding why you are doing everything that you are. In order to prove that you understand multiplication and you understand how we're getting these numbers, what I do is I take the first number, 62, and instead of multiplying it 15 times, I break up this 15 into each individual place value. So I'm going to do 62 times 5 ones, because there's 5 ones in 15. And then I'm going to do a different problem. I'm going to do 62 times 10 because there's one 10 in the number 15. If I take my 5 and take my 10 and add them, I have 15. I'm just making my life easier by breaking this up into two separate numbers. First, I'm going to do 62 times 5. It's the same way we always multiply. 5 times 2 ones is 10. I put down my 0 and regroup my 10. 6 times 5 is 30. Plus 1 is 31 tens. So my answer to 62 times 5 is 310. Then I'm going to do 62 times 10, which is really easy and is a fast fact I can do in my head, because if I ignore the 0 for now, I know that 62 times 10, I just add the 0 at the end, it's 620. Okay, well, if I have these two numbers in the end to get my final answer, I have to add them together. I have 620 plus 310, and if I add them, I get a total of 930. So in my head, that must mean that 62 times 15 is 930, okay? Now, if you are doing that, obviously that was a lot of steps, and it's a little bit unorganized. So in order to keep things organized and nice and neat, we tend to do the algorithm way. I'm going to show you that way, and I'm going to show you why it works. Realistically, if you're doing 62 times 15, you're starting in the ones place as well. You're kind of ignoring the 10 for right now. Sometimes I put an X over it just so when I come back, I'll think about it. We're only worrying about the ones. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 1 is 31. Okay? This number matches this number because I just did 62 times 5. Now that I did the ones, now it's time for me to do the tens. And my 5 I'm done with, okay? Now remember, this 1 isn't really 1. It's actually 110, which is 10. Because I'm multiplying in the tens place and I've already done the ones, I need to put a 0 down here before I can start multiplying. That is showing me, and it's a holder to show me that I am multiplying in the tens place, because 1 times 2 is 2, but really 10 times 2 is 20, which is how I get this 20. I put the 0 down. Then I could do 1 times 6 is 6. And then look, this 620 is that 620 there. I just did 62 times 10. And it's the same thing, and now I add them up, and I get my same answer, which is 930. The difference is that it's in a nice, straight, streamlined problem, and it's a little bit quicker, and it keeps things a little bit more organized, okay? So we're going to try another one. 46 times 58. I want you to, I want you to solve this. What did I say? 42. We're just going to change it up. 58. Okay? I want you to actually solve this problem. I want you to solve it both ways. Actually solving it to show that you understand multiplication, and then solve it using the algorithm. press pause, and then press play when you're ready. Okay, I'm assuming that you solved it. I'm going to take 42, and I'm going to split up my 58 into 1s and 10s, because that's how much place value there is. 42 times 8 ones, 42, and I know that 5 is really 50. So there's my 50, there's my 8, total is 58. Now I'm going to do my 42 times 8 first. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 1 is 35. And over here I'm doing times 50. Well, remember, because this is a 0, I can just ignore it for now and come back to it later. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. And now I can put that 0 down from the 10s. I have these two numbers, and I'm going to put them together and add, and I got 2,456. I can check to see if I did that right by doing the algorithm, which is kind of the fast, more organized way to solve. Again, it's the same thing. 42 times 58. I'm ignoring my 10s for now, and I'm just worrying about my 1s. 8 times 2 is 16, and I regret my 1. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 1 is 32, plus 1 is 33. Okay? Now I've done my 1s place. Now I'm going to worry about my 10s. Remember that 5 isn't really 5, it's really 50, so I put down the 0 to remind myself that it's 50, and that it needs to end in a 0. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. And then I'm done multiplying because I've done my 1s and my 10s. And now I add my two numbers. And I got 2,436. Did I add wrong? What did I do wrong? 32. Oh, I multiplied wrong right here. I'm sorry. You probably saw that 10 minutes ago, or like yelling at me via the computer that I multiplied wrong. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 1. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 1 is 33. 2,436. See, doing this 2 times is helpful because then you can check to see if you made a silly multiplication mistake. We're going to do one more. This time we're going to do in the hundreds. Let's do 937 times 16, okay? I want you to do it the algorithm way this time, which is the fast and kind of organized, easier way. 937 times 16. Well, remember, I'm pretending my 10s isn't there, and I'm just multiplying by my 1s. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 4 is 19, 20, 21, 22. 6 times 9 is 54, plus 2 is 56. Okay? Now that I'm done with my 1s place, I can get rid of what I regrouped, and I'm going to get rid of my 1s. And now I know that that 1's really 10, so I need to put down my 0. 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 9 is 9. And now I can add them together. And I get 14,992. I want you to pause, and I want you to solve the other two problems on this page, and then press play when you're ready. Okay. Assuming that you solved them. So I'm going to do 379 times 22. Again, I always start with my 1's place, so I'm going to ignore my 10s. 2 times 9 is 18. I have to regroup. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now I've done my 1s. I need to get rid of what I did. And now I'm on my 10s. I know that this 2 is really 20, so I have to put down my 0. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And now I can add them together. 8 plus 5 is 13. 5 plus 7 plus 1 is also 13. 7 plus 1 is 8. And I got 8,338. Okay? Last one, I'm doing the same thing. I'm starting with my 1s. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 0 is 0. Plus 4 is 4. And 8 times 6 is 48. Okay? Now I'm done with my 1s, so I'm going to get rid of what I've done. Now I'm on my 10s. That 4 is really 40 because it's in the 10s place, so I put down my 0. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 0 is 0 plus 2 is 2. And 4 times 6 is 24. And if I add, I get 29,040. If you would like to try some problems on your own, you can just make some up and just practice and then check them with a calculator. Make up your own problems, solve them, check them with the calculator. Okay? All right, good luck, and I will see you at school.